All right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Rick Rolled Reviews. In this video, I have to give full credit to the channel Undefendable. I'm not sure of the name of the guy that runs that channel. If you haven't checked it out, please do. He creates a ton of Dice Throne related content, and it's really good. Like he does character guide, like hero guides, like how to be really good with certain hero, reviews of different heroes, and then recently I saw this. He was doing a tier list. Now, normally I am very anti tier list when it comes to Dice Throne, and I'll tell you why. The reason is that I believe in my heart and soul that all of these heroes are fine tuned and balanced to the best of the creator's abilities. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have some matchups where, because of each hero's abilities, one hero might have an edge over the other hero. That's part of where the whole bring three, ban one tournament system comes into play because it's like, okay, what does my opponent have for their three heroes? Which hero do I definitely not want to go up against based on what three heroes I have to choose from? There are matchups that will be more favorable to one hero versus the other, but that does not mean that every single time that matchup happens, one hero is going to win and the other is going to lose. It just says to me that you have more of an uphill battle if you're playing the less favored hero in that matchup. But overall, I think most of it depends on the player skill and the luck you're having that day. I do believe that Dice Run is a game that, yes, while there's RNG there is luck. I believe the majority of the game, or the, yes, I should say, if I was to give it a percentage, I'd say somewhere between 60 to 70% skill, and then like 30 to 40% luck. But I'm leaning more into the skill side, really. And the reason I say that too is when you look at Dice Throne ranked play, and you look at who's coming up at the top in the different regions every single season, it's generally the same group of people that are always at the top. And that doesn't happen if the game is more luck based than skill based. That only happens if skill is predominant. That means, like, overall they might have like some good games, they might have some bad games, but the vast majority of it will level out based on skill. And so all that's a very long intro to say anyone who wants to rank heroes as far as how good are these heroes, I think it's bollocks. A lot of people will be upset with me for saying that, but I have said repeatedly, I'm not a statistician by trade. However, I feel like with a little bit of background in my schooling in statistics, I feel to like have a truly fair ranking, you would need a good sample size of matches. You would need every hero to play every other hero an equal number of times. You would need, in those matches between two heroes, you would need equal number of first starts for one hero and the other hero. You would need to make sure that both heroes are, excuse me, both heroes, both players are of equal skill level overall. You'd also need to make sure that each player is very familiar and very skilled with their hero. Basically, they are at the top of their game with that hero, and so we can expect that they are going to be able to play that hero to the max. And same for the other person with their hero. And then if you had all of those things, I think that's all the things I thought of. If you were able to get all those things in a significant sample size of games, then you could say, okay, this is my tier list, and like in a very numbers driven, data driven type way. Otherwise, it's just like your opinion, man. Like I see a lot of people point to websites that are like, oh, well, if you look at this website, it's collecting all this data from tournaments, and win loss rates and all of that. That's not good enough because you don't know the skill level of those players. and you don't know how good they are with the heroes they're playing as. And we don't have like maybe you got one hero that got stuck in a bad matchup because bad matchups happen. Like I said, it can't be done. It can't be done. And I believe if you could do it in a statistically accurate way, that it would almost be irrelevant because I believe overall all of these heroes would kind of normalize into like kind of the middle. They'd all be good, none of them superior, or if they, if one has overall a better win rate, it's going to be minimal. And that's just my belief. I have never done the testing required. Like I said, it would be incredibly hard to get those statistics, but that's what I believe they would pan out to be. So all of that to say, I'm not ranking heroes based on how good those heroes are because I think they're all good. What I'm ranking these heroes on is how I feel about them personally. Do I like playing these heroes or do I hate playing these heroes? And I did something similar where I like ranked every season not too long ago. This time I'm doing this kind of in a similar fashion, but a little bit different. And everybody loves the tier list, so I figured why not do a tier list video? And like I said, Undefendable inspired this video. Thank you, Undefendable, for that. Love the idea, so I kind of like borrowed it. Hope you don't mind. So let's start right at the top of the list, and we're going to work our way through the whole list of heroes. I believe this has all 44 currently available heroes on the list. It looks to me like it does. So we're just going to go straight from season 1 to season 2 and so on. So season 1, Barbarian. I think I would put Barbarian. I'm kind of between love and like. I think I'm going to put Barbarian in like. He's not one that I like definitely go to all the time, but I do have much respect for the Barbarian. I do love heroes that can hit hard, and Barbarian can definitely do that. I think the only reason that Barbarian goes into the like category instead of the love category, maybe because I've played him so much with beta testing and now with digital app testing. I don't know. Like he's good. I enjoy playing him, but it's not like I could say that I love playing him. And Moon Elf, I would say the same thing. Um, I enjoy her. She's great. I have no problem playing her, but I don't love playing her. And frustrating thing for me is Moon Elf seems like she doesn't like me. Like I don't know. My dice just fail me with Moon Elf for some reason. But she's a great character. Much respect. Just for me, she's gonna be a like. Monk, if anybody knows me, obviously knows that Monk is my favorite overall. Out of all the heroes, Monk is my top character. I love the fact, usually I go for the heavy hitters. Monk can be a heavy hitter, but he can also be like turtle defense style. I love that flexibility that the Monk provides. He's got a great toolkit. I think he is one of those heroes who's very vulnerable to the what status effects card, and you have to watch out for that. But overall, I think he's like one of the best utility characters out there, where he can like switch in between attack and defense based on what he needs at that time. Looks like next up is Ninja. What I say about Ninja? I think Ninja would also go in the light category. She's cool, digger, but just not like blown away. And it's funny too because gaming wise, from a cultural standpoint, I tend to be super attracted to games with Asian themes and Asian characters in them. Like I love Yedo, which however you pronounce it, Gugong. Um, I used to love when I was playing World of Warcraft. I used to love Mist of Pandaria. That was my favorite expansion, or Pandaria, however you say that. So it's weird to me in a way that I guess you've got the monk represents that kind of Asian culture, uh, but then you have ninja. And Samurai, uh, spoiler alert on Samurai, not too appealing to me. Paladin, there's probably going to be a lot in the light category. I think Paladin has to go in the light category. I think the thing that keeps him out of the love category for me is I'm always scared to play him because he's one that like you can very easily whiff. But he's a great hero. It's like kind of one of those where you really have to know him well, and you know have to know how to pilot him well. And I've never really spent the time to learn how to pilot him well. Pyromancer, definitely a favorite of mine. She's like right behind Monk. Um, the thing puts her behind Monk is she is all the way on the extreme of the offense side, and so she is like an offensive powerhouse, but defensively she's all the way on the other side where she is not good defensively. I guess you could say she's getting away because she does do a lot of damage back on defense potentially, so that's good. But she's not blocking anything, and so she's not one like Monk where I can vacillate between offense and defense. Um, it, it's all offense all the time with her. Shadow Thief. Okay, this one's going to be upsetting to many people. Not interested. I think out of all the not interested that I might put in the not interested category, Shadow Thief would be the number one not interested. He doesn't fit my play style. I never like I've only played him like a handful of times, and usually it's because it's usually some reason where I feel obligated to. Like I played a team game recently, like a free for all, not team game, free for all, and I picked up the Shadow Thief because we had a couple of new players in the mix, and I was like, I'm just gonna play the character that I'm the worst with. I'm terrible with Shadow Thief. I don't like the long game. I don't like having to think through like um, how to like when do I take CP versus cards versus damage. I don't like having to get my butt beat pretty consistently throughout the game and then try to make a comeback at the end. Don't like it. No, no, no. Treant would definitely fall into meh. Yeah, he's all right. Um, I I like what he does, and this is another weird one. There's another character that we'll get to later that I'm trying not to do spoilers here. Another character that I think is functionally very similar, and I really like that character, but not so much Treant. I don't know. He's never jived with me. Um, but great character. I just don't even know if I can put him in the like category because all the characters so far I have in the like category, I would definitely play before I played Treant. Gunslinger. Gunslinger is gonna go meh. I mean, if I'm gonna play Gunslinger, I might as well play Moonelf. I feel like these two, Gunslinger and Moonelf, very similar in style, but Moonelf has a bit more control, and Gunslinger has a lot more randomness. I feel like Moonelf is going to be more consistent on defense. She's going to be more consistent on offense. Gunslinger, you have some opportunities if you're rolling really well, like on your reloads, on your defense, on your small straight. You have the potential to have like a banger of a game, but you're very much dependent on how the dice are going to fall. Moon Elf, obviously, yes, her defense. You're hoping to get 2 feet on defense, and I have had games where I can't roll 2 feet to save my life, and it's frustrating. Um, and Moon Elf, like I said, generally doesn't like me, but I like her. I like her as a character. I don't really enjoy Gunslinger. Um, just not my jam. Sorry, I had to grab a drink there real quick. Samurai also meh category. Like I was saying, love the Asian theme. I really wanted to like Samurai. I do think Samurai to me is a good all rounder. Like he doesn't really excel in any specific one area. I don't feel like he's got like decent defense, decent offense, decent status effects. The thing that I hate about playing Samurai is I always feel like, oh, really? I have to treat myself like I'm entangled for the game, even though it's an optional entangle. because you want to really get that honor flow going. You want to churn that honor. And like, I hate having to take abilities that I'm less excited about because I'm like, well, I mean, this works. I'd love to go for something else, but I only want to use one or two rolls. So that's where I'm at with him. Also, I had a terrible tournament experience with him. I got to a point where I like just hated him. But I'll still play him. I wouldn't say, would I say not interested? Actually, I'm going to move him down to not interested. Because, yeah, I mean, between these two, like, used to be a two hero box. Definitely would pick Gunslinger over Samurai every single time. Curse Pirate, gosh. Yeah, she's gonna go in meh. Another one that's gonna be like just like Shadow Thief. Curse Pirate has a huge fan base. She's definitely one that in tournaments you see all the time, like Shadow Thief. Why do I not like Curse Pirate? I like her conceptually, but like when it comes to every time I've played her, it's been a terrible experience. She is a very chaotic character and she thrives in chaos. Um, it is also really about controlling when you flip. If you don't flip early, you don't want to flip at all. But that's somewhat out of your control because um, it's based on the cursed doubloons, and the cursed doubloons may run out. You may be forced to flip even though you don't want to, and it could be at an inconvenient time, and it might cost you the game. Just not like that. Artificer. I'll put him in love category. Uh, he is one of my favorites from season two, but I would say like again, favorites overall. I don't know. I think I would just put him in love. This is the one that I said as far as Trian goes, like weird that they both are kind of like they have these companions that they generate. Artificer has his bots, Trian has his spirits, but I think maybe it's because Artificer is a little bit more straightforward. It's not it's both a pro and a con, right? Because I think Treant provides you with more flexibility in gameplay as far as how and when you use those spirits. Artificer is just like, what bot do I build first? What bot do I build second? What bot do I build third? That's pretty much it. And even with that, it's I would say it's rare that I've seen anybody say, yeah, I'm gonna build I'm gonna build nanobot first. I don't think I've seen that strategy. It probably does exist. Most people are either shockbot or healbot first out the gate. But he's a great character. I really enjoy playing him. He's another one where it's like big punch, hits hard. I really love characters that hit hard. Tactician, gonna go in the mech category. Um, I it's so weird because conceptually with him having the tactical advantage and using those to be able to get a bunch of different effects, I think is really cool. I like those flexible characters with the utility. But maybe it's the theme. Like I don't like him thematically. I think it's kind of funny and cool that I believe some of the inspiration for him comes from M. Bison in the Street Fighter series. He definitely has that vibe. Um, I don't know. He doesn't. I just don't play him very often, just because I have no real desire to play him. But I don't mind him. Huntress. I'm gonna put in meh. Um, she's one that I played a lot back in the day before she got the leaflet upgrade because everybody was saying Huntress was garbage and like I hated that. And so like I would play the crap out of her to be like, no, she's viable, she's good. Um, she is tough to play though, man. That's the one thing. Like, who was the one I was thinking of earlier with the really hard dice rolls? Oh, Paladin. She's got like that Paladin vibe. At least Paladin has a way to reroll dice though. Like Huntress, you do not have any wiggle room. You've got to play smart with your dice, and you've got to play smart with Nira, understanding when let Nira take full damage, when to accrue those tokens and only give Nira partial damage, how much damage to give Nira. You really like once Nira goes down, it takes a while to get Nira back up again, and meanwhile you're like not hitting as hard. You don't have any real protection. You don't have a shield. Your defense isn't as good. Really tough character to play as. So the only reason I put her in Met is because like I like characters that I don't have to think as hard, and that I have like more 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 dice capability with, I guess you'd say. And I love the fact she has a pet tiger. Tiger is one of my favorite animals, so it's like another one that I want to like, and I just don't like that much. Seraph, between like and Matt, yeah, I guess I'd go. It's probably the toughest one so far. Uh, I guess I'd go Meth. Yeah, I don't know. When I'm stuck between the two, I guess I should go for the lesser category. It's funny because a friend of mine, when we were first beta testing season two, I wasn't involved in season two beta testing. I came in shortly after that, but he was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna love Seraph. Seraph, this is going to be like Pyro. You love Pyros, but Seraph's. I don't see Seraph as being like Pyro at all. Um, she's not a heavy hitter. She does have a pretty weak defense overall, but completely different hero. I don't know. I don't go to Seraph too often, and yeah, I just don't. Vampire Lord, definitely one in the love category. She's another one. Like back in the day before she got her leaflet upgrade and got a boost, people would trash her all the time, and it made me incredibly angry. But unlike Huntress, like Huntress, I played strictly to spite people. Vampire Lord, I play, and I did play because I love the character. I love the motif of the vampire and her powers and everything like that. I think she's great. So just, and I think she looks super cool. I think the art is super great. It's funny because I remember when the season two Kickstarter came out, there was somebody who was complaining that she wasn't kid friendly, and like, you know, maybe a little bit because yeah, I can see that, but I still think all of the characters in Dice Drone are fairly family friendly. Nothing goes over the edge of being like, ooh, like this is PG-13 or R-rated. Thor. Thor, I'm gonna put in like. I enjoy Thor. He's a fun character to play as. I don't know why he's never boosted up to love for me because he is in my wheelhouse of like heavy damage dealers. And again, another one very popular in the tournament scene. One of the best players in our region uses Thor quite a bit. I don't know. I don't mind playing him. I like him. I just he's just not one of my go-tos. Unlike Black Panther, who I would say love Black Panther. Tricky thing about Black Panther is he does have, you know, bad matchups and good matchups. He's like definitely strongly in that category of like depending on who you're playing, he can be a juggernaut or he can be like quick to get some. Like it helps if he's going up against heroes that like to ping damage and do little bits of damage here and there, so he builds up the kinetic energy faster. Um, but yeah, he's his defense is, you know, like the pyromancer, he's all damage all the time with defense unless he gets his vibranium suit. And unlike Pyro, he's doing a max of 3 damage back if he's got the like base defense, or 4 damage back if he's got the upgrade. But I like the Marvel character as well. Like, and I think like all the Marvel characters that we're gonna see in the X Men Marvel, they did them very, very well from a thematic standpoint. With his kinetic energy, kind of saying, "Hey, he's getting punched, but he's absorbing that energy, and he's going to use that to unleash a lot of pain on you." Black Widow. Oh, Like or mad? Like or mad? I think it was a like. Um, I like Black Widow. I think she's a super interesting character. I love her mechanics of like, hey, it's all about trying to get upgrades out and get them out fast and ramp up your power as quickly as you can. But also, she's got decent defensive abilities. Her defense itself is okay, and then like she gets the agility tokens, which can really help with survivability. Um, I she's one like Moon Elf where like Black Widow for some reason doesn't like me, and I rarely get good games in with Black Widow. It makes me sad. Captain Marvel, I think I'm gonna drop her in meh. Captain Marvel is one to me like the Gunslinger, who you can have like just amazing off the charts games. Like she can be a heavy hitter, which I love, but it's all dependent on being able to churn those cosmic rays. Like she's dependent on getting those cosmic rays and being able to throw some pretty big punches with the cosmic rays. So yeah, like I I have I find her to be like the gunslinger, very swingy as far as games. I've had some amazing games, and then I've had some like, absolutely terrible games. Spider-Man also going in the meh category. I think I'll move him with the like, and the reason why is Spider-Man is a Marvel hero. I love Spider-Man. I especially love the recent spate of MCU movies with Spider-Man and Tom Holland. I think it's great. Obviously, this Spider-Man is not Peter Parker Spider-Man. This is Miles Morales Spider-Man. But I do also love Into the Spider-Verse and that whole animated series as well. And I do love Miles Morales Spider-Man. Was cracked me up and still cracks me up to this day is one guy in particular just was like raising a big stink that why aren't we doing Peter Parker Spider-Man? Why Miles Morales? And I'm like, dude, why do you care? I know they're different characters. I know they're different people with their different personalities, and as superheroes, they have different powers to an extent, but it's still very much a Spider-Man character. Relax. Um, the reason why Spider-Man is just unlike is, again, I guess with all these like the theme is like, oh, I enjoy playing them, but they rarely like work well for me, or maybe I just feel like I don't know. I guess there's several that I feel that way about, anyways. And Spider-Man's one like it seems like a great advantage that he's got two defenses like Shadow Thief, but his two defenses are not great. Like it's either you've got to roll a six on two dice to prevent half damage, or you're doing like damage back. I mean, it's almost like it's modeled after Shadow Thief, where one is strictly defensive and the other is strictly offensive. But like the output from those defenses is nowhere near as nice as Shadow Thief. I mean, even though Shadow Thief you're rolling four dice and you're trying to get 1/6. Well, yeah, four dice and 1/6. Spider-Man you're only getting three dice, I think, and you won a six. Can't remember like how many dice on his one defense. And then on his counterpunch, it's like maybe you do three damage back. Uh, yeah, I don't know. But the combo tokens, amazing. The web is cool. It's just I don't know, just not gonna not in love with Spider-Man. Sorry about that. Like I accidentally muted my mic and then I was trying to figure out what button I pushed to mute myself. All right, Scarlet Witch. Love or favorite? Love or favorite? I think I would put her up in love. Scarlet Witch is powerhouse, uh, and you know I like powerhouses. She is the key with her is being able to crackle and then a bunch of other status effects on your board, so you can power up the crackles and like have some big offensive turns. Because she is going to take a lot of bruises, like Pyromancer. She's going to take all the damage all the time. There's nothing she can do to block damage. the best she can hope for. Like on the defense, like she gets those two sixes and does 4 damage back. Oh, that's nice. Um, but yeah, it's tough. You got to be able to get damage, big damage out consistently fast to be able to, outrace your opponent. Loki, I will put Loki solidly in the light category. Uh, Loki's a great character. He's so much fun. And again, like I said, with all the Marvel heroes, super thematic with his illusion tokens and having the 3 cards and like trying to trick your opponent potentially. Like there's so many different ways you can use it. Like you can specifically put cards in a certain order and like try and talk your opponent into which one to pick and like try and bluff them and fool them, or you can just shuffle up the cards and offer them to them and like you don't know they don't know. It's just like however you want to play him. And the fact that he can shut down whole offensive abilities with his man, can't remember the name of that little swirly token that blocks off an ability. That's great, especially if you got a hero that's got a small straight and large straight in one box. You can just shut down both their straights with one of those tokens. Amazing. It's just that like he is, I think, another one that's kind of on the swingy side, depending on like how his defense works out with the illusions and. But he's good. He's good. Middle of the road for me. Uh, Dark Phoenix slash Jean Grey. I will put her in the light category. For a while, she would have been not interested. Like my first play with her, like I absolutely hated her. Um, I almost want to put her in meh because like I'm not crazy about her, but like I have seen, especially after my last tournament and I got demolished by her, like you can definitely see the utility there and how good of a character she is, and realizing that I just piloted her absolutely terribly. And that's what I mean about rankings as far as skill. You can play Jean Grey. Some people play her super well and can crush you. Other people, like myself, play her super bad and will get crushed. Doctor Strange, definitely in the love category. Now, Doctor Strange, you might say, well, wait a minute. You said you don't really like characters like Huntress and Paladin that have like really tight dice roll things. And Doctor Strange is definitely one like them. He doesn't have a basic attack. He has some tight dice rolling with his dice spread. Yeah, but he's so cool. Like, I love the spells mechanic is one of those mechanics Dice Throne has come up with that has been like, wow, that is like chef's kiss great. This having the spell book and being able to prepare and cast spells. It's so much fun for me and so thematic. And again, like Doctor Strange is another one. Love the Marvel hero himself. So yeah. Deadpool. Deadpool, I'm gonna put in the middle. I have not played Deadpool. I'm trying to think if I played Deadpool at all outside of maybe beta testing, if I even beta tested him. Uh, to be honest, sometimes there's heroes that scare me a little bit, and Deadpool's one of those where it's like, ooh, I don't know, could I pilot him well? I'm not sure. I need to play him, but he is like I talked about the cursed pirate being chaotic. Holy crap! Like Deadpool is chaotic in a whole different way. Like just the fourth wall breaking again, chef's kiss dice drone. You really nailed the character on this one. Like trying to bring out that fourth wall breaking in a like 2-dimensional type way um, seems to me like it would have been challenging, but the way that they did it and they imbued Deadpool with all of those things that make Deadpool Deadpool and a Dice Drone hero. Oh, so good, so good. I want to play him sometime soon and like just try him out and get a better feel for him. Cyclops. I wonder if I'm gonna run out of room here. I've never done one of these before. Like, there's a lot that I have like in the middle. Um, yeah, I'll put Cyclops in. Like, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I have enough room. I don't know what happens when I run out here. We've got 44 characters, so it's like trying to make sure there's enough space. Cyclops does not get a lot of love in the community from what I've seen. He just, I don't know what it is. I brought him back out recently when I was just playing for funsies with a friend, and I wanted to see. It was one of those things too, where it's like, oh, community does not like this character. Well, then I got to play him and be good with him just to like show up the community. Um, and he's okay, you know. Like I don't see why people just straight up don't like him. I feel like he does have some good stuff going on, and I do like the leadership cards and like finding interesting combinations of like which one do you play first, which one do you play second, when do you play them, and all that. And like our buddy the tactician, he has tokens that have a lot of utility to them to be flexible and stuff like that. The fact that I think I want to say it's the leadership tokens that he can spend one, I think it is, to look at your opponent's hand. Just wild. That is so great. Like I know one of the others down the road here, Psylocke. She can do that one time if she gets the right card to do it. But to be able to do it like maybe multiple times throughout the game is like really cool to me. Wolverine. Oh, this is so sad for me to put Wolverine in meh. Love the character in the MCU. One of my favorite X Men. However, gameplay wise, just did not. For me, I think maybe they leaned into trying to make a hero that is for that set that's a good beginner hero, and so they say, hey, let's do it with Wolverine. Maybe they just were like, how well, how do we implement Wolverine as a dice thrown hero? And they get that with the rage and everything like that. But I personally, the times I played Wolverine, I just haven't enjoyed him as much. But I don't hate him. I just he's not going to be somebody I'm going to pick very often voluntarily. All right, Storm. I think I'm going to put Storm at my favorites. And here's a difficult thing with Storm. Do I play Storm well? Not so much. Um, I'm a little scared to play her now because I've gotten some good butt whoopings at playing as Storm and like having other people hand my butt to me. Um, so I found like it's like a lot of heroes though. It's like you got to figure out like what is the secret sauce? What's the secret combination of things that you need to do and go for? So maybe I need to talk about Undefendable earlier. I probably need to see if he's got a good video on Storm. Probably does, and watch it and find out what I am doing wrong. But as a hero, I like absolutely love the lightning bolts that you put on different abilities and charge them up. Love, love, love the tornadoes and being able to get like a whole fistful of dice or two handfuls of dice, maybe even depending on how big your hands are, and just like roll a bunch and try and get that largest straight. But there's also nothing more infuriating than going for the largest straight. You got like I don't know, like nine dice and you can't seem to pull it off in three rolls. That is bonkers. But that's RNG for you. It happens. Rogue. Gonna put her in the love. Yeah, I'm gonna put her in the love. I haven't played her a whole lot, but I do appreciate what she brings to the table quite a bit. And she's got some fun things about her that I think make her interesting to me to play. Like I'm almost borderline on like with her. Maybe some of it is unfair because I'm like, oh, the like row's filling up, but I'm like, yeah, I could definitely push her to love because like I want to play her more. I do like what her abilities and everything that she has. So Psylocke. Psylocke is a favorite of mine. Oh my god, because she's in my tournament roster and she's the one that I have the best win rate with. The fact that she can do pretty darn good damage most turns when you throw in that manifest die, and the utility that like, hey, you can also use the manifest die to help you avoid whiffing or to get to an ability you couldn't have otherwise gotten to. It's a great insurance policy there for you, right? And nobody can touch it. The only you can't even reroll the manifest die unless you have a card that specifically references the manifest die. I should say, like, if you do substitute the manifest die out for one of your dice, it becomes like a normal die and it can be manipulated. So I shouldn't say that it absolutely can't be. There is that kind of caveat. Gambit. Holy crap! Where do we put Gambit? I want to put him in. Oh, cool! I can put more in here. Yay! Gambit is a like for sure. Cool. I mean, mechanically, another one where Dice Stone just knocked it out of the park with theme. Having the four ace cards and charging them and then popping those off to do different things. Like, beautiful. Beautiful job, guys. He's just great. It's just he's not. I just don't feel like he's my style. I don't know. He doesn't jive with me. Even though I think that his mechanics are super cool, so I have to put him in like Iceman. I'm gonna put in the love category. Even though, like Rogue, I have not played Iceman a whole lot, if at all, since beta. But like he's definitely one that I have respect for as a hero. I love like the glide tokens that brings in that theme of Iceman there. The dice cube being able to lock an opponent's lowest die. Oh, that's a good one. I should say too, Rogue. Rogue, I forget what token it is where she can reduce your roll attempts possibly to zero. Bonkers good. Love that. But I need to play Iceman more for sure. Ravenous. I'm gonna put Ravenous in love. She's probably moved up from like meh to love all within the last few months. It all started with a friend of mine saying, "Oh my gosh, Ravenous, she's like tournament beast," and I'm like, "Really?" And so I was like, "Well, let me give her another try." Like I didn't really when I was testing out Cass, she wasn't one that really appealed to me much. So let's give it a try. Yeah, holy crap, she's really good. Um, and I do feel like she's not currently in my tournament roster, but she's definitely one like I would gladly sub in for if I felt like there was one that I need to take out. By the way, out of my favorites list here, Monk, Pyro, Psylocke, that's my current tournament lineup. And it's just hard to sub out any one of those because they're all so good at what they bring to the table for my lineup. Pale Lady. I'm gonna put Pale Lady in love. She is my absolute favorite from the Outcast set. I love the werewolf theme. That's amazing. The moon shards and everything. Unlike Curse Pirate, where Curse Pirate you're flipped, and that's it. Pale Lady, she could potentially flip back and forth multiple times during the game, and I like that. I mean, as the player, you're like, I want to stay in werewolf form because most of the time werewolf is where it's at, like being able to do the big damage and like you're basically again like pirate where your board's fully upgraded when you flip in a sense. But yeah, she is a lot of fun. I want to get more plays in with her before I consider bringing her into a tournament though. I'm just not skilled enough with her yet. Necromancer. Oh man, I think I put Necromancer in the not interested. We did a lot of testing of him in beta phase, and some of it maybe that I just got. We did so much runs with him that I just got completely sick and tired of him. But I also just overall, I mean, he's cool. Again, like I say, with even these characters I don't like, cool. Not for me though. Like that's not my kind of hero. But the whole thing that like all the components the guy has, holy crud! Like all the undead army that he has, and then he has two leaflets, and he has an extra card for like covering up an ability each turn. I think that's a super cool thing, like the buried thing. That's really neat. Again, thematically nailed it. Play wise, not my style. Headless Horseman. Gonna put in. But possibly could be sliding up into the like. I was teaching yesterday at my local store, and somebody was playing their first game with Headless Horseman, and I was watching. I was like, yeah, yeah, I kind of do maybe like Headless Horseman more than I thought. When I was testing though, I kind of got like a little bit salty about Headless Horseman because I felt where he ended up. I felt like, oh, it's like the Black Panther thing, right? You're building up these dreadful tokens instead of kinetic, and then like when you get to 4, I think instead of 8, you pop and you do things. Um, so it was like, I wish we had done something more creative with him, but you know what? It's really cool, and I shouldn't hate on him because I like Black Panther. I love Black Panther, obviously. So why don't I love Headless Horseman? I don't know. Maybe if you ask me a year from now, maybe Headless Horseman will, much like Ravenous, move up in the charts for me. Druid. I think Druid's going to go up in my favorites, and part of the reason too is a silly one. Is that I used to, like I said, I used to play World of Warcraft back in the day. Um, probably my favorite class of all to play was Druid, and he's one of those flex characters where it's like you have options of what forms you want to be in. You're obviously going to be switching forms all the time. If you're not, you're completely wasting the fact that he gets these transformation tokens all the time. But that each form has a different thing. Like, oh, bear, you're going to be more defensive, and you can only play certain cards when you're in bear form. And then like cat, you can only play certain cards, and cat's got more offense. And then druid's like all about like life and healing with regenerate tokens, which regenerate tokens are sweet. So it's like trying to navigate when to switch forms and what to switch to when and all that. But also character art is great. I did find out something interesting recently. Like obviously Manny is the inspiration for the art of Dice Throne, and did like when this whole thing started, like probably for the first 2 or more seasons, it was like all Manny on the artwork. And as they've grown, they've brought on additional help. So now Manny has Nick Malara, who helps with artwork. And my understanding is, from an interview I watched recently with Manny, is that Druid is actually Nick's design. So it's like kind of cool seeing another artist, and it's like taking the art style that Manny created, like the Dice Throne art style, and then riffing on that. And I remember Manny saying like he wants Nick to bring his own unique style into the Dice Throne universe. Like obviously you've got like a certain template you're working with. It's got to still be Dice Throne art, but what can Nick bring to that art that's new and exciting and different? And I think Druid is definitely like me thinking like, oh yeah, like Nick nailed it with Druid. I love the art for Druid, and so great job by him. And I think Dice Throne team was really smart to pick him up because it seems like he understands the Dice Throne art, but he also is able to not just like stay in a box. He's able to iterate a little bit and like be able to bring his own flavor to it. So kudos to Nick. And then we have the Forge Master. Brr, brr. Now, Forge Master is another one like Shadow Thief, very popular with the fans. I have seen Forge Master at tournaments a lot. He has now become somebody that I am completely scared of and will ban frequently because the dude is a juggernaut. He just needs that like time to get his armor built, but once he gets his armor, holy crap, man! Like, guy's insane. Like, I don't like fighting him at all. Um, now, I also have to call out Drake Finney. If you guys don't know Drake, Drake has been a fan, a supporter of Dice Throne since way back when, way before even I got. I think he's been there almost from the start, if not the start. And like, he's had this campaign he's been on like forever long of like Dice Throne needs dwarves. And so he was ecstatic when he finally got his dwarf character, the Forge Master. And like you talk to him about it, he'll tell you all about it. He loves Forge Master. I unfortunately, sorry Drake, he's in my not interested list. I just don't like playing as him. It's not fun for me. Even though I think super cool with the armor and everything, I think that's a neat invention, but not for me. Duelist, on the other hand, gotta say I love the Duelist. I subbed out Monk for Duelist one time because I'm like, similarities. Balancing between like attack and defense. Although I will say Monk definitely very much stronger on the defense than Duelist is. Duelist a little bit slightly stronger on the attack, but definitely love Duelist for that flexibility. And those of you who are familiar with the Dice Throne team might notice that the Duelist is modeled after. Oh man, trying to remember his name. He's one of the guys that does all the video editing, video publishing, and stuff like that. I can't believe I'm blanking out on him right now, but really, really cool guy. Like the whole team's super cool, and I'm so jealous that he got a hero that was like made in his image. I'm like, who do I have to pay to get the hero made in my image? Gosh darn it! Sun Elf. Sun Elf is going to currently go in the like column. I'm kind of middle of the road. Like I love the concept of her. Like some of the others in here, it's just love the concept. But apparently elves hate me because Moon Elf hates me. Sun Elf seems to hate me as well with the dice rolling. I really am still playing her though a lot recently, trying to figure out what her jam is. Again, this might be another one where I go to Undefendable's channel and say like, dude, teach me. How do I get good with this character? Because right now my win loss rate is pretty abysmal with Sun Elf. I think I'm like 1 in 4 games with her, which is terrible. But anyways, Santa, I would throw in. I mean, let's face it, Santa is like a riff off the Barbarian. Originally, Santa was strictly a reskin of Barbarian when he first came out with a fun little thing for the holidays. And then, like later, Dyson said, "Hey, let's do a two-hero holiday pack with Santa and Krampus." And they Santa plays a lot like the Barbarian. However, he is not the Barbarian. He is differentiated enough, quite a bit, by the way, to like stand on his own. But as far as like thematically, what type of character he is, he's definitely another one that is like a hard hitting character. He just has more tools in his tool belt than Barbarian does, and just fun character to play. I think I was talking to somebody else yesterday about how like Santa's probably the one that is a hero that has like probably the most puns out of all the dice run puns and heroes. Krampus also going in the light category. Love his misfit toys. Love his misfit toys. As a character overall, enjoy him, but I don't know. He's just never fully jived with me. But I don't mind playing him. Like all these characters in the middle, like or all these heroes in the middle, I keep saying, it's like I would play any of these any day of the week, wouldn't mind at all. But just I don't know, it's just like I'm in the middle. Like they're fun to play, but I don't always necessarily go to them. Alchemist is gonna put her in the meh category because Alchemist, while super cool with the potions and stuff, another one where it's like dice rolling is a pain. Like she does not have a basic to fall back on, and so very whiffable. You got to be really, really careful with her dice rolling. Although, like she's another one where like some of these heroes, like I hate them, and then I see somebody else. I play against somebody else that's using them, and I'm like, oh wow, they're really good. Like why couldn't I do that? But like the guy I was playing against yesterday was playing Alchemist and beat my Sun Elf. Um, Zach was just like hitting everything. It was ridiculous. Like, how do you roll sixes on defense all the time? Like, at least one, and then a lot of times like two or three, and then you're rolling like you just get everything you need, man. It's just like insane. Like I could have fun with the alchemist if I just rolled everything I needed all the time. So yeah, and then finally, last but not least, the most recent hero to join the Dice Throne roster, Mystic Brawler, came out in July. I would say that I love Mystic Brawler. Like I was not a big fan during testing. He probably would have been more in the light category, but since he's come out, I've had a chance to play him a few times. I've also had, it's another one where it's like somebody else played them, whooped my butt in a tournament, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I need to take another look at Mystic Brawler. And played him recently casually and really enjoyed it. So yeah, he's gonna go up there for the love. Apologize again for having to wet my whistle. Also love the theme. The funny thing is, so many people call him Timu Maui because he's got like the Pacific Islander type look to him and theme. It was pretty much spot on. That like just like I think that Tactician was modeled after M Bison. I think for sure Mystic Brawler was modeled after Maui in style and everything. But yeah, so that's all 24 heroes ranked. Please let me know in the comments if you've got any that you hotly disagree on, that you think I've got it wrong, and I should really enjoy this hero more than I do, or why the heck do you love that hero? Like you think they're terrible? It's all opinions, guys. Like share your opinion, share what you feel. I'd love to hear it. And, thanks so much for watching. I don't do these videos as much anymore with the board gaming, but like Dice Throne has just been a part of my life that's dominated recently, and like I'm loving to be able to share some of that with all of you. So have a great one. I'll see you guys next time. And from all my friends at Dice Throne, keep rolling sixes.